Hello and welcome. I'm Patrick Ramirez. Welcome to another episode of Running It Back. I've learned so much talking to people on here and diving into different subjects. But mainly, I've learned I have a real nasally voice. What are you going to do? What's going on right now in my world? Sports. Sports are back. Basketball, baseball, but mainly to me, cycling. Cycling is one of my favorite sports, not only because I participated in it, worked in the industry, and marvel at the competition, but I always found it to be a beautiful sport to watch. I don't think you would say that about all sports. Hey, you know what's beautiful about this football game? The human wreckage that occurs every other 45 seconds, followed by the middle-aged man wearing a headset yelling to get it right this time. Now, don't misunderstand me. I don't not like football. I love football. I just wouldn't describe it as beautiful. The same way I wouldn't describe baseball as calorie burning. I think we're in for a great cycling racing season. It started up again, and I hope it continues. I think it will. I'm excited to see more racing on those iconic roads. Probably this Saturday. I'll be watching. On the show today is my friend Kelly Thewlis. Kelly and I used to host a weekly comedy show here in LA. People often would mistake us for siblings too. Maybe it's because we yelled a lot and never returned any texts. But Kelly, as you will see, has a deep knowledge of the theater. That's right, Theatre theater. I wanted to catch up on what the play Hamilton is all about. I'd never seen it. Total novice here when it comes to plays. So I needed Kelly's help, and we had a great conversation, broke it down, and as you will see, have new categories for the play. So take your seat. The show is about to begin. Here's me and Kelly. Okay, joining me on the screen today, it's been a long time. This is almost kind of a reunion episode here. Joining me is my friend Kelly Thewlis. Kelly, when's the last time I saw you?
I think it was about 3 years ago.
Right?
We were hosting Flappers open mic. How long did we host that open mic? We did that for 3 years.
We might have hosted that Tuesday night show for at least 2 years, maybe 3. You're right. That was our go-to Tuesday show.
I think that's what, I think it was 2 years because I first did it with Shree Hodge. She was my co-host for a year, and then she left, and then you joined in.
We took it over.
Are you not doing it anymore?
I still do it. Well, everything is shut down here, so nothing happens here. But I still do the Tuesday show, although I do a Tuesday show, not the one you and I did. But I'm still involved in Tuesday nights.
Wow, look at you moving on up. No longer the open mic, you do the Tuesday show.
That's right. Wow. They're like, this guy's going places. We're moving him from 7:30 to 8 p.m.
Oh my God. Did you ask me on here just to brag about how high on the ladder you've climbed since I've been gone?
That's right. Remember the Ford Escape I used to have? Guess what? It's an LX edition now. This is all my plan. Kelly, you can jump off the Zoom anytime. I'm just gonna brag about me shopping at Trader Joe's now.
Wow. Not even Ralph's. It's the Trader Joe's.
It's in my rearview mirror, baby. Ralph's. I was thinking about all the hosting of shows. And people always ask oh, is that fun? Is that hard? Is that the hardest thing about hosting the show? And the most important thing is just starting on time and finishing on time. That's all that matters.
That was always,
The manager will look at you and was like, all right, we got to wrap it up. I was like, I just ordered chicken wings. So I wrap it up.
It's done. You're done. We want to go home.
What do you remember from hosting that show?
Yeah, because that mic would last a while. And how we would have to turn people away occasionally, and that always sucked.
As far as open mics go, we had a really good one going there. We always had a full crowd. It was always fun. It didn't deteriorate like you would expect at about 45 minutes in.
I mean, it eventually deteriorated, but well, that was the beauty of it. We would do like the random drawing out of a hat, so you just sort of didn't know who was going to go up. You didn't know what sort of styles. Everybody was a lot of times with open mics, you'll get kind of people will come in really early and sign up, and then they'll leave before the end. But because it was this random drawing, everyone would just stay because they like had to. We would lose some people towards the middle, but yeah, I mean, it was a long mic, like about 2 hour deal.
We went for like 2 hours, if I remember right. It was the funnest thing because sometimes you would have the weirdest person ever go up and creep everybody out, and then after him, like a kid would go up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And for whatever reason, I always had this knack for like drawing two people to be like absolute opposite, polar opposite points of views up against each other.
Yeah.
You know, like if I got like some super Republican comedian, the next person would be like a super Democrat comedian. Or I remember one time I had this guy come up and he was just bashing prostitutes. He was just like, it's prostitutes, scum of the earth. Like, he had all these jokes that were just like bashing sex workers. And the next comedian I drew, and I knew her, had been a prostitute in a former life, and wrote a whole book about it, and that was her whole act. I was just like, as soon as I saw her name, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me, you know? And so like I had this knack for always bringing up like the flip side of the conversation and making it super awkward. But it was just random. It was how things went.
You host enough open mics, you're gonna have some prostitutes on the show.
Eventually.
Just be aware. Just be aware. It's gonna happen. I always thought it was funny how every once in a while we would get mistaken for brother and sister.
Oh, it happened quite a bit.
It happened quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, we have different last names, of course, but you look at it, like it would happen every third sort of Tuesday. We would get mistaken for siblings.
It didn't help that we also like dressed alike too.
There was a time we dressed alike. That didn't help either. Which I don't know who would look worse in it, whether I dressed more feminine or you dressed more male on the day, and we just happen to match up.
Yeah, we both just dressed very like neutral. When was it? 2013 was basically like.
Yeah, we went neutral Ross dress for less look.
That was exactly. It was like the leather coat, t-shirt, jeans. We did, or plaid shirts. Both were into them.
We should have milked that. We should have told people we were siblings. I don't know what that would have done for us, but I think it would have been funny.
I still think like if we ever join creative forces again and put out a comedy album, like I want our cover to be like a JCPenney photo shoot style, brother and sister, like.
Oh, you could look, it'd be one of those ads where you look all happy in the ad, but I'm annoyed to sort of be posing.
Yeah, awkward family photo style. Yeah.
How can we make this happen? This sounds too good.
I probably will need to write some material first for it.
Nah, we'll let that come later. We'll find that prostitute. We'll get her back in this.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't live in LA anymore. You live in Ohio. Where in Ohio do you live?
Okay, so I'm Akron is this the easiest place. I'm like 15 minutes away from Akron.
How do you like living there?
It's good. This is where I grew up, so I just like came back, and I did the funny challenge where most people like start comedy in small towns, and then they'll move to big cities. And for whatever reason, I like started in a big city. I started doing comedy in Los Angeles, and then I moved back to a small town. So. Kind of do a little bit of the opposite there, but it's actually worked out really well. There's paying gigs out here, if you can believe it.
I do believe it, and it's the one thing that like maybe is underrated. Maybe we shouldn't even tell people the secret, but when you move back from LA or some major market, you get unwarranted LA street cred.
Yeah.
And they'll believe a lot of stuff that you can make up, but you have the street cred, and you can kind of sort of move around circles. I kind of get a little bit when I go visit my hometown. They'd be like, "You're in LA." I was like, "I live in an apartment. My tires on my car don't all match." You get the street credit. It's great.
Yeah, they don't understand the struggle, where it's like, oh yeah, everything Hollywood glam, absolutely, that was my life. And then you were like, no, very much. They're like, very much not that.
I was in the show business middle class.
Yeah.
But like big
Oh, it's
like detail. Oh wait, I came back.
yeah.
Big detail though, you're a parent now.
I am. That's specifically why I moved back.
Right.
Because it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, we're never going to be able to afford this. LA
Yeah.
with a kid is so expensive, and so yeah. So and that's a horrify any listeners you have on this show. But I had an IUD in, which is regarded as 99% effective, and we made it to the 1%. We wasn't what I was expecting, but we got it. We're in the
Against
1%.
all odds, you had
Against
this
all
kid.
odds, my
Maybe
daughter
that's
is here.
the world's darkest Disney motivational movie.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty surprised, pretty shocked. But it's worked out to be amazing. Like, it's been the best thing. She's awesome. She's so much fun. She practically writes all my jokes.
Oh, really?
This parenthood. A lot of people told me that too. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna be so funny now that you're gonna be a parent."
Hey, by the way, not a compliment.
Yeah, right,
What was I
exactly.
before?
Yeah, but they were kind of true. It was kind of true because it's,
Oh, you think so? What's different about you being a parent?
what's different about like my set or my
No, what about just you in general, you personally? What's changed you as a parent? Any surprises as a parent? Or you're just like, nah, I got it.
I will say that like I still am to a little bit of regards. I mean, I've just had that little bit of comic, comedian edge where I'm like, everything sucks and life is hard and like, it's like we're comedians, we all kind of walk around with this like little chip on our shoulder of like, if we're not telling jokes, we're just kind of depressed, And now that I've had my daughter, like she really, I mean, children just like make you appreciate life again in like really simple things. Like there was this one day when she discovered she had a hand and she just was like, oh my God, and just like stared at it for like 20 minutes, just like totally amazed. And I was like, you're right, little baby. Hands are amazing. Like, I hadn't thought about that in forever, but like, yeah, this is cool. We live in a cool existence,
Yeah, I would like to see the scene where you're both looking at each other's hands and then someone walks in the room and goes, what are you both doing?
Yeah, I'd be like,
You guys seen
these are amazing. Think of all the stuff we can do.
I don't have any kids, but I grew up with a younger brother who was very younger than me. So
Okay.
all my little kid recollection is him as a baby and all like the little like battles. Like you would win some battles, you would lose battles. He would have to leave the house dressed up as something.
Uh-huh.
So all your friends would make fun of you. Like, why is your brother dressed like? My brother was into wearing suit jackets for a while. He would have to wear a blazer, and he would wear a blazer to like my basketball games, and it'd be to the point where all my friends and the coach would be like, "What is your brother dressed as today?" I'm like, I don't know. He's doing his own thing, coach. Sorry.
Businessman. There he is.
He's a businessman toddler. He wants to get to jump on the working world. Yeah, so I remember just battles and movies. Everything was a battle with movies. We had to find something that he liked. And I was thinking about it. We went to the movies once. He's 10 years younger than me. So he's like, say he was like 4 years old and I was 13 or 14. And we went to go see like the movie Aladdin. And I remember coming out of the movie theater and seeing a group of my friends from middle school all on dates in the mall. And I'm with my mom and my little brother, and I think it was the first time I ever cursed in front of my parents. Because I was like, let's get the hell out of here. Then my parents like, we're taking you home, young man. My little brother was like, I want to get a hot dog. Yeah, always a battle. So you can have that to look forward to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, and she's so funny because like she's 2. She's 2 now, and she's so smart. And so a lot of times I'll be like, hey, don't do that. Like, don't, I mean, she'll do little kid stuff where she's trying to like run in the street or something like that. And I'm like, hey, don't do that. It's dangerous. And she goes, okay, turn around, Mom. And I'm like, Anyway, okay, are you telling me to turn around because you're just going to go do the thing I told you not to do? And she goes, yeah, turn around. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
They're such little liars.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
funny.
I mean,
So
she was honest. She was like, yeah, that's exactly my plan. You caught me, but I'm going through with it.
you really have to worry when she gets to the point where she says, turn around. All right, you don't see nothing.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
That's crazy. So much experiences going on since you had left Los Angeles.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God. Well, it's funny too, is you can always tell that when you're as a comedian where you're set. It's like half my jokes back when I was in LA were just like, no, that's trash. I can't use that anymore. That does not reflect my life.
Mm-hmm. You mean the very LA centric material didn't carry to Akron?
Some of it did, some of it didn't, but most of it did not. No.
Hey everybody, you know that Pink's Hot Dogs on Figueroa pulling up to it, where you got a Prius on the side? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you guys know traffic on the 405, you know what I mean? LA guys. Like that was the biggest problem, was like most of my set was about like dating life, and I'm like, this does not apply to me. Like, let me do my first set of all my old dating jokes and then somehow transition to just kidding, I've actually been married for a year and I have a kid. I was like, doesn't work.
Well, we're gonna start it all over.
Yeah.
Start fresh. Well, I'm glad you're on today because you're coaching me up on some theater today. Because we're diving into Hamilton, the play Hamilton.
Yes.
What's your theater background? You're like a theater girl, right?
I mean, a little bit, like a little. I'm trying not to brag too much about my.
Please brag, if you will.
You know. No, I mean, I was not in any regards a professional theater person. This is the hard thing about doing something with you, the standards of being an adult. You know what I mean? It's like professionally, no, I'm not a theater person, but I grew up as a theater kid. I was in all of the stuff, all the plays, all the theater stuff, community theater. I did all of it. And before I started doing stand-up, I was really into improv, and I was doing a lot of theater in that regards of doing improv comedy. So yeah, I was definitely a theater kid.
What plays were you in?
Well, oh my gosh. I've been in Oklahoma twice.
Oh, really?
Once as the lead and once as the chorus. So very different levels of talent on that. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've just been in all the standard musical theater shows that circle the community theater world, like Oklahoma, Annie, South Pacific, a lot of Rodgers and Hammerstein stuff. I'm trying to think what else.
Do you have a favorite? What's been your favorite play that you were a part of?
I did a show in high school that was called High Society, and it's not a very well-known musical, but I really enjoyed it. And probably it's based off of Katharine Hepburn movie, Bringing Up Baby, I believe is. That's not true. Nope. It's actually based off Katharine Hepburn film High Society. As soon as I said that, I was like, that does not make sense. Yeah.
That's it. You're canceled from the Katharine Hepburn podcast.
Katharine Hepburn film High Society. They made it into a musical. The musical is slightly different than the movie version. Mostly that the movie version doesn't have a lot of music to it. But anyways, we did that in high school, and I really enjoyed it because I had a role in it that was the comedic character, but she was also a little more grounded. And I was always casted as the funny person in whatever show we were doing, but I was always the most over the top funny person. So I was always like the overbearing mom in the high school kid show, or I was the Queen of Hearts when a thing, so I was always this like wacky character in everything I ever played. And then that was the first show that was like, oh, I'm actually a real person. I'm still funny, which is what I love, but I'm actually a real person with real feelings. And that was kind of a nice introduction into my comedy career, where it was like, oh yeah, just because something is grounded in realistic life does not mean that it's not funny. In many ways, it's actually funnier. So
that was called High Society?
Yep. And
That's interesting. I had a subscription to a magazine in high school called High Society, but I think it was actually very, very different from what you experienced.
probably very. I doubt there was a magazine publication just devoted to this one obscure show.
High Society. It arrived in a plastic bag. It was a different era.
But it was all Katharine Hepburn photos in there, right?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of Katharine Hepburn holding blunts and stuff on the back cover.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't have that. It didn't have that. Yeah. Well, I'm a total theater novice. My theater background is from, like, my brother was into theater in high school, so we saw all his plays. But that's about it. So that's why I didn't know what the heck is going on in Hamilton all this time until I could finally see it. So I was like, maybe I need someone to coach me up on it, because I'm coming at this from a total novice perspective.
Yeah.
I watched it on Disney Plus to figure it out. I watched it a few times to kind of to get a hang, to get a very outside view. So
okay.
So yeah, I did some research on it. It opened in 2015. Where did you first see this?
Okay, actually, I first saw it on Disney Plus as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hamilton.
Okay, I don't feel so bad.
It's so expensive. They've been, I mean, that show, it really just, as soon as it came out, it blew up. And then you couldn't get tickets at all. And so I actually did the thing. I tend to not like to listen to a lot of soundtracks unless I see the show. Because I prefer to have my first experience. I mean, the music is supposed to go with the script in a musical, so I prefer to have that all together. And if I know that if like a show's really obscure and I know I'm not really going to get to see it, I will listen to it. Like the show Last 5 Years. I love that soundtrack. I've never seen it on stage before. They did eventually make it into a movie. But yeah, I listened to that before because I was like, well, this is probably not going to come around anytime soon. But Hamilton, I was like, this is going to come around to me. I will eventually be gifted with $1 million so I can have one seat there. Yeah. It's like a going rate for tickets to it. And I was like, I will wait to listen till then. And yeah, so I didn't listen to anything or see anything and then it dropped on Disney Plus. And I was like, the wait is over. I will finally get to watch this. So yeah, I experienced it at the same time as you. And oh my God, it was amazing. I mean, I knew it was going to be. Everyone told me, but I still was like, I'm also a little bit of a hipster person. When somebody tells me things are going to be amazing, I kind of was like, it's not going to be that great. Like,
yeah, I had a little bit of that too, even though I probably wasn't going to see it. I was like, yeah, we'll see about that. But, so I finally see it on Disney Plus. I'm like, all right, I got to see what's up. Because there's something also about watching something alone. And this is the same way with me, like about radio. When you listen to something like by yourself in a car, there's something about that you can sort of take it in a little differently to me. So
yeah, well, I mean, that's true. Because the theater, one of the benefits, and also like it's a beautiful aspect of it, but it's also like the downfall of it is that, it's same with stand-up comedy. You never know what's going on. Every show, every performance, everything is different. You never know what's going to be around you. So yeah, when you're in a theater, amazing, beautiful things that they'll never get recreated. The same show is never done twice can happen, but that could also mean that person, like the thing is somebody kicking your seat, like it's like it could be, or like somebody talking next to you or something, like rude.
I didn't think about that.
In some aspect.
Yeah, I didn't think about the whole theater experience, which could be a really great thing. Seeing a great theater, seeing a play in a really monumentous theater.
Have you seen anything on Broadway before?
I have like on vacations, and I'm going to forget the names, but I saw, I think I saw a play called Mamma Mia.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I saw Grease a long, long time ago.
Okay. On Broadway? Or was it?
I think. I don't know. It might have been on VHS now that I think about it.
Okay.
I saw a play called Weekend at Bernie's. Nope, that was VHS. What surprised you when watching watching Hamilton for the first time?
I was really impressed by the set design. of it. It was
Ooh, technical.
Yeah. I mean, it was super minimalistic, but it really served its purpose to just sort of, contribute to the story and not take away. I mean, you really were just focused on the characters. And I also loved the rotating floor. Did you catch that?
Oh, yes. That was
Oh.
trippy. And it worked so well.
Yeah, it worked so well. And I really had such respect for the actors on it because those like airport terminal walk, I can't even think, I don't even know what it's called, just the moving sidewalk. I can't even walk on those without like tripping a little bit.
Those just go straight.
Yeah, I know. But even if I'm like walking, I will get a little bit tripped up. I just gotta stand still on those and just go at the pace. So I was like, look at those actors. They're singing, they're performing, there were these crazy costumes, and they're moving on this thing. I was like, whew.
What got me when you watch a play, how like incredibly difficult it looks. Like you watch some stuff, you watch like movies or athletes, you're like, they make it look easy. You watch a play and you say, that looks impossible. Yeah. I don't know how they achieve that. I don't know what it takes to even pull this off.
I think that's interesting that that's how you feel, because I definitely watch sports and I go, no.
Well, I mean, they make it look easy. You definitely know it's not easy. I watch the play. I'm like, I don't even know how you organize this. Like, have you ever tried to get 4 friends to show up to something on time? You can't even do that. And they get this play going. Everybody's on their mark. It's crazy. It's amazing.
That was part of the reason why I had to quit improv, is because I was like, I'm so sick of relying on other people. Like, no, I can't just do stand-up. It's alone. Everything's alone. Because it's so hard. I mean, it helps in Hamilton's regard. It helps that they're all paid actors. It's like, this is your job. You show up. Just like any, it's your job to do it. But I mean, it is such a deep level of coordination, and I mean, it's just like film, like there's so many different roles. I mean, there's like production accountants, like there's whole accounting teams to Broadway shows that are just handling that. There's, the assistants, there's all, writer assistants and producers, and like there's all these other people. And then, I mean, the tech crew, there's so many like specific roles on a tech crew,
and they all pull it off in one night seamlessly. That was the part that I was blown away by. I was like, this is amazing that they can do this.
Oh, and sometimes they do it, like they'll usually do 2 shows a day on Broadway. So they'll do like 2 shows a day, and then all through the weekend. I mean, it is an insane schedule performers have.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. It's just like impossible to even, my mind could wrap around that a human being could learn all this, and then you could actually put something on with 100 other people.
Yeah.
And it looks perfect.
I know, because you're thinking about like all this stuff where it's like, because we as comedians, it's like, I just have to remember this life story that actually happened to me, that I've maybe enhanced to make it funny, but really not all that much. And I just have to remember to like hold this microphone, and like not run the light. That's the big thing that we have to remember as comedians. Don't run the light. And it's like,
there's a lot of scheduling that goes on in comedy that people don't know about.
Yes. But that's pretty much it. There's not that much else we got to remember. Whereas like actors on Broadway, it's like they got to remember, like you said, they got to remember their marks and their songs and their character. And there's like, oh my God, it's so much.
How long does it take them from start to opening night? What kind of time frame would it take them to pull this off?
I'm not really sure how long it would take.
What would it take, like in the stuff you were in? How long would you guys rehearse till it was ready for an audience?
We usually do about 3 months.
Really?
We do about.
Yeah, that didn't even sound like enough to me.
Yeah, because it was like in 3 months they would do the casting, and then you do all the different performances and stuff like that while they're building sets and everything, and then you would go in and do shows. And we usually, when I was doing stuff, we would be maybe run for about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So I was not doing anything grand long-term running.
I don't know. I saw Oklahoma on Blu-ray. That was pretty difficult.
Not the performance I was in. Two
What?
performances,
Oh, okay.
two
This
different
podcast
shows.
is over. I'm kicking you out of this podcast. Next question. Which
Yeah.
cast member do you think got bullied the most in high school?
That is so tough. I think definitely.
You cannot say all of them, by the way.
I know, no. I mean, I think it probably was. Oh wait, hold on. Which character or which actor?
Cast member.
Cast member. Okay.
Or actor, yeah.
Okay. So I think it was probably Lynn.
The main guy?
Yeah, Lynn Miranda Manuel. I think it was.
You think he
definitely
got bullied, huh?
or Lynn Manuel Miranda.
I wrote it down. Lin-Manuel Miranda, you're right.
Hamilton. I think it was the main guy.
You think he had a tough time in high school?
I think yes. Not only I also have a suspicion that not only was he bullied in high school, I think he had to serve some time as a substitute teacher.
Why a substitute teacher?
This is, I mean, the fact that he like rapped, he like made rap songs about historical shows just screams like substitute teacher in a history class trying to engage his students.
Oh, you might be convincing me now. Yeah, he might be the teacher who turns the chair backwards and he says, hey, guess what? Rap is just poetry. And then hits some lyrics to him. It's
Like
so
a
funny because I got a vibe where Hamilton is just basically 8 Mile in 1776. But instead of, like trying to get in the rap community, Eminem is trying to frame the Constitution.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think he also like made that case when he was as a substitute teacher trying to engage his students. He was like, it's just like 8 Mile. And they were probably like, we haven't seen that film.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see Gangster's Paradise Dangerous Minds with Coolio? might be a little too young of a crowd for that one. I thought the guy who got bullied the most was that little page boy who had to come tell the settlers to basically cease and desist. He had like the floppy hair. He had the funny. Yeah, I was like, this dude had a rough time, grades 7 through 9. That was my pick. And by the way, what a shit job. If you're the guy the king chooses to go to America and be like, hey, tell him to knock it off and be forceful.
I think you might actually be right about that because they literally casted him as someone to get bullied. Like that's all that guy does in that show is you're right. He just gets bullied by all the
push him aside. You're right. And they're like, whatever. The king says to, keep it down. Whatever.
We're not doing that. Yeah.
What was your favorite song from the play?
I loved King George.
Oh, really? We might have the same answer on this one.
Really? I mean,
we might have the brother-sister connection on this answer.
I think that's it. Honestly, I think it was just because that's the one comedic relief. And so that's why I'm always kind of looking for and I'm like, yes, I love that. But he did such a good job with that song.
Oh, I loved it. It was like, that could have been a pop song. I can see Taylor Swift singing that song and it being every bit as catchy.
It's
such a good song.
Because it is like framed like this romance song, where it's like
breakup song. You're right.
Yeah, it's a breakup song. It's 100%. Yeah, definitely Taylor Swift could have sang it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she didn't. So I'm glad the guy from Frozen did it instead.
That was my pick. Yeah, he's funny. The king is funny. He's not in the play a lot, but everything he's in, he has a little funny part. And this is my gripe with plays as a non-play person. I always feel like there's an inside joke I don't understand when watching a play. Like they do a joke and everybody laughs and I end up going, yeah, that was good. Am I missing something or it's just that's how plays are?
You're probably missing something. I mean,
thought that might be a possibility.
Was there something you didn't understand in this?
Well, they just all sort of like clap or laugh at something that is like kind of moderately funny. And I think I'm missing something to it. So, but that might just be my novice play brain.
Okay.
Going to it because he did some funny stuff. He would like shake his shoulders.
Yeah, he was very.
And everybody erupts when he enters the stage with applause. And I'm like, who's that guy? What do we know about that guy?
Oh, okay. Okay. I think what you're missing there is just that everyone was applauding just for him as an actor because I mean
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, he's done a lot on Broadway before that and like I said, we know him in my household as the guy from Frozen.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe
and
I joke that I didn't get is he's a recognizable
yeah,
character.
Broadway actor.
Yeah.
But he did such a great job with that role because it was like super subtle, like the little tiny things that he did, and it was, I mean, so good.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough of the song. That was my favorite song. Which, by the way, I looked it up. There's 48 songs in this play. This
Is it
play
really that
goes-
many? Wow,
there's
well, because they just flow right
48
into each other.
songs. There's 48 songs. This play goes for like 2.5 hours. You gotta
Okay,
really
but he's
settle in.
only on, okay, so King George is only on stage for 9 minutes.
Wow.
Of all of that show, he's on for 9 minutes. So I watched an interview with him talking about how like it was up to him then to go off stage and entertain like any celebrities who stopped by. He said he was like, yeah, at one point it was just like me and the Obamas just sitting there, and he's like, how you liking the show?
Wow.
Barack Obama.
I'm liking King George more and more. I can see him knocking out the song, going back, and he's just like ripping cigarettes with Barack. He's like, so what do you guys do in New York when you're here? Just playing it off. Oh, hold on. I got to sing my song real quick.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. There's got to be some video of him backstage.
Yeah, it's so weird too, specifically like seeing the Obamas like as King George, dressed up as King George.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's dressed as King George. Barack, hold my crown.
Like I hope someone got a photo of that.
Oh, that would be excellent. That would be totally excellent. Yeah, that was my favorite part, or favorite song is the King's songs.
I like Jefferson a lot too, but he was dual act, like one actor playing Jefferson and Lafayette, and like he was fantastic.
I found that out too. Yeah, in my research that the one guy plays two roles, and then in my novice play brain, I didn't know that guy, the guy who plays the lead, wrote the whole thing. I didn't know he created the whole play. I had no idea.
That's why I'm saying he definitely was a substitute teacher. Trying to convince everyone. Like, I know how I can get everyone interested in history.
Oh, wow. The ultimate substitute teacher lesson.
Yep. I'm going to get the whole nation involved in this.
Wow. Yeah. Dangerous Minds, that movie, that was like child's play. This should be the next movie.
It's going to be big. I'm going to make everyone singing this.
That takes me to my final Hamilton question.
Okay.
Would this be better as a movie or a 10-part Netflix series?
No, I think
no. Strong no from Kelly.
Nope. I for one, okay, I love movies and I love Broadway, and rarely do I like modern musicals on movies, if that makes sense.
Well, it can stay on Broadway. It's staying there.
Definitely. But because I like what they did, where they put up a movie version, and the movie version was just the Broadway show recorded one night. Like that was great. I think usually when they, I think my prime example is the Producers. I loved the Producers on Broadway. That was just so much fun. It was kind of its time. Like there's a lot of jokes now that you're kind of like, but
yeah.
During that time, I was in high school, I think, when it came out, and I was like, oh, this is so funny. They made the movie version of it, and it was like, again, could be just the time of it, because we've all, I guess, matured a little bit, and but it also just they used a lot of like unnecessary set pieces. They were like running around cities that was like taking away from the story, and you tend to see that a lot where things start getting in the way of the actual stories and the characters when you have a movie version, because they have like unlimited budgets on that regard. So
I see.
When they actually make like a cinematic version of Hamilton, that's kind of my big fear, that they're gonna like just get a little over the top with like special effects or scenery or background actors or whatever.
Yeah,
right now I love the way it is.
You don't like to play one of the roles, that could kill it for me too.
Yes, yeah. Because I mean, that's actually a prime thing with the producers. They had to Uma Thurman.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man? No.
Okay, did you like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I would be mad.
No, as Spider-Man.
If Tobey Maguire was in Hamilton in the movie version, that's why I would be mad. I was like, Spider-Man, get out of here.
I still think of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and I never want to see him in anything else again. So.
I see it as a 10-part Netflix series because it's so long. And I was thinking they could turn it into something of like a West Wing type of vibe, where there's lots of dialogue, lots of moving of the camera through hallways. So I was like, I go 10-part series for this one.
Really?
Yeah, movie, it wouldn't get it all in there. I
guess that is a good point. It is.
If I have to choose one.
Yeah, because a lot of times they do have to cut out, like when they make a cinematic version of a Broadway show, they have to cut out a lot of songs because they just can't. And that would be hard. It'd be hard to decide like what to cut out of Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't want to lose anything. That's why I want multiple part series for it.
All right, you might be onto something there. I don't know. I like it as is, though. I think it's just like, let's just watch it as the Broadway show.
Give it be.
Yeah, but again, as a theater nerd, though, I'm always for that. Like, I love like PBS great performances where it's like, or like the concert shows. Like, I've seen, what was it, Reba McEntire and Alec Baldwin. They did like South Pacific, where it was like just them in front of an orchestra, just doing the show. I was like,
I'm of the belief anything with Reba McEntire in it needs to be just titled Reba.
Absolutely. It actually was. It was like, yeah.
Reba. On her tombstone, it should just say Reba.
Reba.
If you could see this play anywhere, which theater would you see it in? Would it have to be Broadway? Would it be somewhere else? What about that? You can see it anywhere.
Reba McEntire or?
Because
I have to see Reba McEntire. But Hamilton, oh God, I would love to see it on Broadway. Like actual Broadway. I think that would be amazing. Mm-hmm.
You have to see it, and kind of like seeing your favorite team on its home court.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I want to see them run through that tunnel. Yeah.
I'm still not actually thinking about that at all. I'm still thinking about Hamilton on actual Broadway because I don't.
All my analogies go to sports or Reba McEntire.
That's all I got. America. That's all my analogies go to sports or Reba.
Reba. That's excellent. Yeah.
Well,
thanks. Go ahead.
Oh, I feel I have to bring this point up. No reason. The interview's over. I think you're trying to end it, and I was like, I must bring this up.
Bring it up.
I think, okay, I have seen the one example of like the flip side of a movie getting it right and the stage version getting it so wrong. Have you ever seen The Newsies?
Never heard of it. What's The Newsies?
Oh my God. All right. So The Newsies was a Disney musical during like the early 90s that when like Disney was kind of pumping out all these like historical picks that weren't really making a lot of money, but they were just, I don't know, they were just putting them out for some reason. And they made this one that was choreographed and directed by Kenny Ortega, who went on to do like all the High School Musicals. He, they like did this show. It starts a young Christian Bale. I think it might've been like his first or definitely one of his early roles. And as they're all like a bunch of newsboys in the 1800s who go on strike. And that's the whole thing. And it's got pretty good music into it, and it's pretty fun. It's one of those things that like of our generation, we Broadway nerds, we know it, you know. Mm-hmm. But it didn't get a lot of great reviews, and it kind of died. And then, like I said, our generation grew up, and we continued to have like this kind of like Hook almost. Remember like Peter Pan, Hook?
Yes.
Kind of same thing.
I mean, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. Like same kind of thing where like that film was like totally shit on by you know like box offices and critics, but then like our generation has this nostalgia for it. So anyways, they made it into a actual Broadway musical, and I was so excited. And I saw it at Pantages in Hollywood, so I paid like a lot of money for these tickets because I was so excited, and it was so bad.
Wow, they got it wrong.
And I still think about it to a point that I was like, oh, is this over? I have to bring this one thing up. Like, it's so bad.
I'm glad you did. So the movie's good, the play is bad.
The movie was good. The play's awful, I found. Anyways, and it's because they changed a lot of plot points in it. They were trying to, I mean, they're trying to bring a female role into it. And they just like made it awful, I found, because like what they ended up doing was there's in the film version, there's this one news reporter who actually believes their story. He's like an adult male, and he's played by a famous actor that I'm totally spacing on his name, but you would know him if you saw him. He's in like a ton of stuff. And he was like, he's the only one who believes in these kids, and he writes their story, and he's kind of like a father figure to them. They made that into a woman, only they made her the same age as them, and now she's the love interest, and now she's also, her father runs the newspaper. And it was like, okay, I see that they were trying to like bring a female character into this, but they also made her only just be about the love interest and have her father own the paper. So it was just like, this is, and they've also taken out this like important, you know, father figure believing in these kids. That was a pretty important part of the story, I found. So it's just like, it's done horribly.
Total miss of the mark there.
Yeah.
See, this is why I knew you were my theater go-to, because you would have this inside track into some theater knowledge.
It's like, I wake up sometimes being like, that was done so wrong. I believe it's like what a sport fan feels like, where it's like, if you could just give me the ball, I can do it. I could have made that shot. Like, you could have just...
Right.
So
we could have won state.
You could have just given me like millions of dollars in the production of Newsies. I could have done this right.
I don't want to jump the gun, but next time we talk, we should review Newsies.
They're both versions are on Disney Plus. So.
Oh really? Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Yep, you can just take a gamble at which one's which.
Get ready for a barrage of questionable texts from me about what the hell's going on.
Why are you watching this, Kelly? It's going to be where you're like, why?
Kelly, what is this? Next test. Kelly, you ruined my life. Kelly, never talk to me again.
Never. We're done. We're done. I don't care for siblings. I don't care.
That's what siblings is out. Well, that was excellent. I knew you were going to have the good info on my theater questions, Kelly.
Well, I hope I made some theater kid proud.
You know, if we do this again, we should do a scene from a play.
Oh, yes.
What about that?
I've been wondering, okay, so because have we done any Zoom comedy shows?
You and I together? No.
I mean, just have you
yeah. I've done a bunch of online stuff.
Yeah. So have I, since doing this. And that's why I've been wondering. I'm like, okay, so are the theater kids also doing Zoom shows? Like, I feel like they could be doing like radio play, Zoom stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
I like the thought of this.
Yeah, Patrick, let's go through your clothes, find any outfits that you think could be a period costume of like from Hamilton. We're going to recreate it on Zoom. Yep.
Let's do it. Kelly, great idea. Thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for having me on. This is fun.
Hey, how about that? I feel some good work was done here. Thanks to Kelly, the play Hamilton, all those who listened, and Disney Plus. Yeah, why not? I think they're going to make it. Next week, another episode, another great guest, and hey, I'll be there too. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Thank you. I'll see you there.